So we'll start with the establishment of the covenant. And I want to point out three aspects of the covenant as law. One is that the Torah is given through revelation. Yah's revealing of it, as he did on Mount Sinai with Abraham, with Moses. The second one being the Torah is a covenant between Yah and his people. The third part, or the third point, is that the Torah is a plan for dominion under the Father, under Yah. So I'm going to go into some aspects of the dominion, and it was first given to Adam. As we would read in Genesis chapter 1, verses 27 and 28. So Elohim, and I use the word Elohim, created man in his own image. In the image of Elohim created he him. Male and female created he them. In verse 28, he blesses them. And Elohim said unto them, Be fruitful, and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moves upon the earth. So that was the dominion that was first given to Adam. The dominion was later reaffirmed with Noah. As we would read in Genesis chapter 9, verses 1 through 3. And Elohim blessed Noah and his sons, and said unto them, Be fruitful, and multiply, and replenish the earth. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every fowl of the air, upon all that moves upon the earth, and upon all the fish of the sea. Into your hand are they delivered. Every morning, every moving thing that lives shall be meat for you, even as the green herb. I have given you all things. And reaffirmed again with Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and through David, and the line of kings ending with Mashiach. If we were to read in Psalm chapter 72, verses 1 through 8. Give the king your judgments, O Elohim, and your righteousness upon the king's son. He shall judge your people with righteousness, and your poor with judgment. The mountains shall bring peace to the people, and the little hills by righteousness. And he shall judge the poor of the people. He shall save the children of the needy, and shall break in pieces the oppressor. Verse 5. They shall fear you as long as the sun and moon endure throughout all generations. He shall come down like rain upon the mown grass, and showers that water the earth. In his days shall the righteous flourish, and abundance of peace so long as the moon endures. He shall have dominion also from sea to sea, and from river unto the ends of the earth. The dominion then passed down again. That is one aspect of the covenant. Now we're going to talk more with the establishment of the covenant itself. The concept of the covenant is central to the narrative of the Scriptures, serving as a foundational theme that underscored Yah's relationship with humanity. The establishment of the covenant is a divine initiative, marking significant moments in biblical history where Yah sets forth his promises and expectations for his people, And we start with the covenant that was given to Noah. The first explicit covenant in the Bible is with Noah, following the flood that cleansed the earth of its widespread corruption. Genesis 9, verses 9 through 11. Yah declares, "Behold, I now establish my covenant with you and your descendants after you, and with every living creature that was with you, the birds, the livestock, and every beast of the earth, every living thing that come out of the ark. This covenant is marked by the sign of the rainbow, symbolizing Yah's promise to never to destroy the earth by flood again." And then we have the covenant with Abraham. The Abrahamic covenant is a pivotal moment in the scriptural narrative where Yah calls Abram, later Abraham, to leave his homeland and promises to make him a great nation. In Genesis 12 through 3, verses 2 through 3, Yah says, "I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you, and I will make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and curse those who curse you, and all the families of the earth will be blessed through you." This covenant is further elaborated in Genesis chapters 15 and 17, where Yah promises Abraham numerous descendants and the land of Canaan, with circumcision as the covenant sign. Then we have the covenant with Israel at Sinai, which is called the Mosaic covenant. Established at Mount Sinai is a defining moment for the nation of Israel. After delivering the Israelites from the Egyptian bondage, Yah gives them the law, encapsulated in the Ten Commandments. In Exodus 19, 5 through 6, Yah states, "Now if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, you will be my treasured possession out of all the nations, for the whole earth is mine. And unto me you shall be a kingdom of priests and a holy nation." This covenant emphasizes obedience to Yah's laws as a condition for Israel's continued blessing and relationship with the Father. If we were to read through Exodus chapter 19, verses 3 through 9, more or less what we covered just a little bit earlier, but I'm going to go through the verses. "And Moshe went up unto Elohim, and Yahweh," I say Yahweh, "called unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thus shall you say to the house of Yaakov, and tell the children of Yasharel," which is another word for Israel. "Ye have seen what I did unto the Mitzrayim, and how I bore you on the eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and guard my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, and all the earth is mine. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests, and a holy nation. These are the words you shall speak unto the children of Yasharel." And Moshe came and called for the elders of the people, and laid before their faces all these words which Yahweh commanded him. And all the people answered together and said, "All that Yahweh has spoken we will do." And Moshe returned the words to the people unto Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, "Lo, I come unto you in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with you, and believe you forever." And Moshe told the words of the people unto Yahweh. And it came to pass, as we continue reading through 16 and 19 in Exodus chapter 19. "And it came to pass on the third day in the morning that there were thunders and lightnings, and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of the shofar exceedingly loud. so that all the people that was in the camp trembled. Well, that must have been something. And Moshe brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with the Almighty Father, and they stood at the nether part of the mount. And Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke, because Yahweh descended upon it in fire, and the smoke thereof descended as the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mount quaked greatly. And when the voice of the shofar sounded long, and waxed louder and louder, Moshe spoke, and Elohim answered him by a voice. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, Write these words, for after the tenor of these words I have cut a covenant with you, and with Yasharel. And he was there with Yahweh 40 days and 40 nights. He did neither eat bread, nor drink water. And he wrote upon the sapphires the words of the covenant, the 10 Devarim. Then we go on where the Father establishes a covenant with David. The Davidic covenant found in 2 Samuel chapter 7 promises David that his lineage will endure forever, and that his throne will be established eternally. In 2 Samuel chapter 7 verse 16, Yah assures David, Your house and kingdom will endure forever before me, and your throne will be established forever. This covenant is significant in the expectation as it points to the coming of the Yahusha HaMashiach, who is often referred to as a son of David. Biblical foundation for the covenant as it was established with David. The Davidic covenant is primarily found in 2 Samuel chapter 7 verses 8 through 16, 1 Chronicles chapter 17 verses 11 through 14, and in 2 Samuel chapter 7 verses 12 through 13, Yah declares to David through the prophet Nathan, When your days are fulfilled and you rest with your fathers, I will raise you up your offspring after you, who will come from your own body, and I will establish his kingdom. He will build a house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. The key elements of the covenant. The first element being dynastic promise. Yah promises David that his lineage will endure forever. This is not merely a promise of a long-lasting dynasty, but an eternal one, indicating a perpetual kingdom through David's descendants. The temple. The covenant includes the promise that David's son, Solomon, will build a house for Yah's name. This was fulfilled in Solomon, who constructed the first temple in Jerusalem, as recorded in 1 Kings chapter 6. Eternal throne. The promise of an eternal throne is central to the Davidic covenant. The aspect is seen as having both immediate and future implications, with Solomon's reign being a partial fulfillment and the ultimate fulfillment found in the Messiah. The other aspect is the father-son relationship. Yah establishes a unique relationship with David's descendants, saying, I will be his father, and he will be my son, as we see in 2 Samuel chapter 7, verse 14. This language signifies a special divine favor and guidance. So now we get on to the fulfillment and theological significance of the covenant. The Davidic covenant is seen as a precursor to the coming of the Messiah, who would be a descendant of David. The New Testament writers affirm this connection identifying Yahushua HaMashiach as the fulfillment of the covenant. In Luke chapter 1, verses 32 and 33, the angel Gabriel announces to Mary, "He will be great and will be called the Son of the Most High. Yahweh Elohim will give him the throne of his father David, and he will reign over the house of Yaakov forever. His kingdom will never end." The Davidic covenant underscores Yah's sovereignty and faithfulness. It highlights the theme of divine election and grace, as David was chosen not for his merit, but by Yah's sovereign will. The covenant also emphasizes the continuity of Yah's redemptive plan, linking the Old Testament promises with the New Testament fulfillment in the Messiah. Covenant and kingdom. The concept of the kingdom is central to the Davidic covenant. It points to a future hope, where Yah's rule is established through Yahushua HaMashiach, the Messiah. This kingdom is characterized by justice, righteousness, and peace, as prophesied in Isaiah chapter 9, verses 6 and 7. "For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government will be upon his shoulders. Of the increase of his government and peace there will be no end. He will reign on the throne of David, and over his kingdom, to establish and sustain it with justice and righteousness from that time and forevermore." Forevermore. And now we get into what happens when you breach the covenant. If we were to read in Jeremiah chapter 3, verses 6 through 10, "Yahweh said also unto me in the days of Josiah, the king of the Jerusalem at that time, who was the king, have you seen that which backsliding Yasharel has done? She has gone up upon every high mountain and under every green tree, and there has played the harlot. And I said, after she had done all these things, turn you unto me. But she returned not, and her treacherous sister Yahudah saw it as well. And I saw, for all the causes whereby backsliding Yasharel broke wedlock, I had put her away and given her a scepter of divorce. Yet her treacherous sister Yahudah feared not, but went and played the harlot also." Verse 9, "And it came to pass to the likeness of her whoredom, that she defiled the land, and broke wedlock with stones and with stocks. And yet for all this, her treacherous sister Yahudah has not turned unto me with her whole heart, but vainly, says Yahweh." Going on to verses 12 through 15 of Jeremiah chapter 3. "Go and proclaim these words toward the north, and say, Return, you backsliding Yasharel, says Yahweh, and I will not cause my anger to fall upon you, for I am merciful, says Yahweh, and I will not keep anger forever. Only acknowledge your iniquity, that you have transgressed against Yahweh Eloheka, and have scattered your ways to the strangers under every green tree, and ye have not obeyed my voice, says Yahweh. Turn, O backsliding children, says Yahweh, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city, and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion, and I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding." In the Scriptures, covenants are solemn agreements between Yah and his people, or between individuals that carry significant spiritual and moral weight. The consequences of breaking these covenants are profound and multifaceted, often resulting in divine judgment, loss of blessings, and relational discord. divine judgment when you breach the covenant. One of the most immediate consequences of breaking a covenant with Yah is divine judgment. The Bible provides numerous examples where Yahweh responds to covenant unfaithfulness with corrective measures. Leviticus chapter 26, verses 14 and 17. Yah warns the Israelites of the repercussions of disobedience. But if you will not listen to me and carry out all these commandments, and if you reject my statutes and despise my ordinances, and fail to carry out all my commandments, and so break my covenant, then I will do this to you. I will bring upon you sudden terror, wasting disease, and fever that will destroy your sight and drain your life. You will sow your seed in vain because your enemies will eat it. I will set my face against you so that you will be defeated by your enemies. Those who hate you will rule over you, and you will flee when no one pursues you. The next aspect of breaching the covenant, loss of blessings. Breaking a covenant also often results in the forfeiture of blessings that were contingent upon obedience. In Deuteronomy chapter 28, Yah outlines the blessings for obedience and the curses for disobedience. Verses 15 to 20 state, "But if you do not obey the Most High, your Yah, by carefully following all his commandments and statutes I am giving you today, all these curses will come upon you and overtake you. You will be cursed in the city and cursed in the country. Your basket and kneading bowl will be cursed. The fruit of your womb will be cursed, as well as the produce of your land, the calves of your herds, and the lambs of your flocks. You will be cursed when you come in, and cursed when you go out. The Father will send curses upon you, confusion and rebuke in everything you do, until you are destroyed and quickly perish because of the wickedness of your deeds in forsaking me." Relational discord. Covenant breaking also leads to relational discord, both vertically within Yah and horizontally with others. The breach of trust inherent in breaking a covenant can cause alienation and conflict. In the case of Israel, their repeated unfaithfulness led to estrangement from the Father, as seen in Jeremiah chapter 11, verse 10. They have returned to the iniquities of their forefathers, who refused to obey my words, and have followed other Elohim to serve them. The house of Israel and the house of Judah have been broken the covenant I made with their fathers. Historical examples. The history of Israel is replete, many instances of covenant breaking and its consequences. The Babylonian exile is a great example of this, where the Israelites' persistent idolatry and disobedience led to their captivity. 2 Chronicles chapter 36, 15 through 17 recounts, "Again and again the Most High, the Yah of their fathers, sent word to them through his messengers, because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place. But they mocked the messengers of Yah, and despised his words, and scoffed at his prophets, until the wrath of the Most High arose against his people, and there was no remedy. So he brought up against them the king of the Chaldeans, who killed their young men with the sword in the sanctuary, and spared neither young man nor virgin, neither old man nor aged. Yah delivered them all into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar." Now we get into the part where we talk about the covenant renewal and hope. Jeremiah chapter 31, verses 31 through 33. "Behold, the days come, says Yahweh, that I will cut a renewed covenant the Brit Chadasah, with the house of Yasharel, and with the house of Yehuda. Not according to the covenant that I cut with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Mitzrayim, which my covenant they broke, although I was a husband unto them, says Yahweh. But this shall be the covenant that will cut with the house of Yasharel. After those days, said Yahweh, I will put my Torah in their inward parts, and write it on their hearts, and will be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. Verse 31, Behold, the days come, says Yahweh, that I will cut a renewed covenant with the house of Yasharel and with the house of Yehuda. So on the notes here, I have written it out in Hebrew with the translation into English. Restoration and hope. Despite the severe consequences of breaking covenants, the scriptures also emphasize Yah's mercy and the possibility of restoration. 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14. Yah offers a path to reconciliation. And my people, who are called by my name, humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, and I will hear from heaven, forgive their sin, and heal their land. This promise underscores the enduring hope for those who repent and return to the covenant relationship with the Almighty Father, the Most High. Throughout Israel's history, the Davidic covenant provided hope during times of turmoil and exile. The prophets often reminded the people of Yah's promises to David, assuring them of a future restoration and the coming of a righteous king. Jeremiah chapter 23 verses 5 through 6 speaks of this hope. The days are coming, declares the Most High, when I will raise up for David a righteous branch, a king who will reign wisely and do what is just and right in the land. The Davidic covenant remains a cornerstone of biblical theology, pointing to the ultimate fulfillment of Yah's promises in the Messiah Yahusha, the eternal King, from the line of David. The renewed covenant prophesied in Jeremiah chapter 31, verses 31 through 34, and fulfilled in the New Testament, represents the culmination of Yah's redemptive plan. Yahusha HaMashiach, through his death and resurrection, establishes this covenant, offering forgiveness of sins and a restored relationship with Yahweh. In Luke chapter 22, verse 20, during the Last Supper, Yahusha declares, "This cup is the new covenant in my blood, which is poured out for you." The new covenant, or renewed covenant, is characterized by the indwelling of the Ruach HaKodesh and the law written on believers' hearts, signifying a personal and transformative relationship with our Father, Yahweh. Throughout the Scriptures, the establishment of covenants reveals Yah's unchanging faithfulness and his desire to dwell among his people, guiding them into a relationship marked by love, obedience, and blessing. Hebrews chapter 9, verses 1 through 6. Then truly, the first covenant had also ordinances of divine service, and a worldly sanctuary. And there was a tabernacle made, the first, wherein was the menorah, and the table, and the showbread, which is called the sanctuary. And after the second veil, the tabernacle, which is called the holiest of all, which had the golden censer, and the ark of the covenant, overlaid round about with gold, wherein was the golden pot that had manna, and Aaron's rod that budded, and the sapphires of the covenant, and over it the cherubim of glory, shadowing the mercy seat, of which we cannot now speak particularly. Now when these things were thus ordained, the priest went always into the first tabernacle, the first sanctuary, accomplishing the service of the Almighty High, Most High, Elohim, our Father. Hebrews chapter 9, verses 7 through 10. But into the second went the high priest alone once every year, not without blood, which he offered for himself and for the heirs of the people. The Ruach HaKodesh, this signifying that the way into the holiest of all was not yet made manifest, while as the first tabernacle was yet still standing, which was a figure for the time then present, when which were offered both gifts and sacrifices, that could not make him that did the service perfect, as pertaining to the conscience, which stood only in foods and drinks, and diverse washings and carnal ordinances opposed on them until the time of restoration. Verses 11 through 15 of chapter 9 in Hebrews. But Messiah, Mashiach, being become a high priest of good things to come, by a greater and more perfect tabernacle, not made with hands, that is to say, not of this building, neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood he entered once into the holy place, having obtained eternal redemption for us. For if the blood of bulls and of goats and of the ashes of a heifer, sprinkling the unclean, sanctifies to the purifying of the flesh, how much more shall the blood of Mashiach, who through the eternal Ruach offered himself without spot to the Most High, purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living Elohim. And for this cause he is the mediator of the renewed covenant, that by means of death, for the redemption of the transgressions that were first under the first covenant, they which are called might receive the promise of eternal inheritance. The first covenant had also ordinances of divine service. First, a worldly sanctuary within the tent of meeting. A tabernacle was made, the first wherein was the menorah, the table, and the showbread. And it was called the sanctuary. The second within the temple, the veil, creating the Holy of Holies, the golden censer, the Ark of the Covenant, which included the golden pot of manna, and Aaron's rod that budded, and the sapphires of the covenant, and over it the cherubim of glory shadowing the mercy seat. The mediator, therefore, was he who could enter the Holy of Holies, into which the high priest went alone once every year, not without blood. The renewed covenant is therefore mediated anew. Yahushua HaMashiach is the high priest. A greater and more perfect tabernacle is he, not made with hands, not by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood. Mashiach is the mediator of the renewed covenant, that by means of death, for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first covenant, they which are called, might receive the promise of eternal inheritance. Ezekiel, I want to close out by reading some verses from Ezekiel, then I have a short prayer to say. Ezekiel chapter 36, verses 25 through 28. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean. From all your filthiness and from all your idols will I cleanse you. A new heart also will I give you, and a new ruach will I put within you. And I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and I will give you a heart of flesh. And I will put my ruach within you, and cause you to walk in my statutes. And ye shall guard my judgments, and do them. And ye shall dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers, and ye shall be my people, and I will be your Elohim. Blessed are you, Yahweh of the armies, Yahweh of the hosts, Yahweh Sebaot, Creator of the heavens and the earth, the Elohim of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, our Elohim, and the Holy One of Yasharel, my El, and salvation, for giving us the way of salvation, truth, and the Torah, and life everlasting in the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father.